And in studio having this conversation with us this morning is a lady I stalk a lot. Well, probably because she has all these kinds of gems that you can learn from. And I'm happy to introduce her to you today, Joanne, the career coach. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mikali. Thank you very much.
Stalker, nimejisema hadi.
Hata mimi ni stalker wako.
It's good to finally have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
And there's so many things we can talk about you. There's well, unajua titles zako ni mingi. Ni mingi. So maybe you can start by introducing yourself, how you would like people to know you.
All right. So I'm Joanne Tuo. I'm a career coach by profession. So, people call me Joanne, the career coach. Yeah. So basically what I do is I work with professionals, people who are, employed, people who are looking to move, in their jobs. Also people who are just getting into the job market. So these are, fresh graduates. So working with them to, increase the chances that they land jobs, because we all know, it's a jungle out here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, jobs, they don't come easily. Finding the right fit is difficult. Like getting into this organization is hard. So, just working with professionals and helping them in terms of their personal branding, in terms of career coaching, in terms of prepping them for interviews, just to increase the chances that, they get, these job offers. Other than that, I'm a mom of 2 very handsome boys. Yep.
Author, Jamini.
Oh,
Didn't I warn you? Didn't I warn you I'm a stalker?
I even forgot. Yes, so I actually wrote a book titled Purposeless Bride. It's one of the things that I do. It's actually something that sometimes I forget, but yes, I'm an author as well.
Yes, yes, she is. And, talking about, before we get into the meat of the conversation today, talking about CVs and interviews and prepping people with all of that,
yes.
What are some of the things that you've really seen that we do wrong, especially if we're getting into the job market as fresh from university and tuna copy and paste CVs everybody else kiiba JDs kila mtu na mix up ndio ukae nikawe ni genius.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you've seen that we should do better when we're looking for employment?
Wait, do we have time? Because that one we will talk the whole day. But anyway,
yeah.
Some of the common mistakes I've seen with job applicants. Number one, the CV, because I know we've had this thing that hakuna kazi Kenya, like there are no jobs available. But many recruiters would agree with me in saying that when you put out a job post or a job opening, you'll find thousands of people applying, but the candidates that you shortlist are about just like 50 or even less than that. Problem number one is the CV, that, you get CVs that are not in line with this particular job that you've put out. The CV has spelling mistakes. The CV is not well formatted. The CV has different colors. The CV is, it's just all over the place. Yes. The CV is short. It's very scanty. The CV is 57 pages.
Hey?
Yes, so people make so many mistakes when writing the CV. So if you want to significantly increase the chances that you get shortlisted, the first thing you want to check is the CV. In fact, when someone comes to me and asks, Joanne, I've been sending out thousands and thousands of applications, why am I not getting a call back? Check your CV first. The first thing I always check is the CV. The second mistake that people would make is not applying for jobs that are in line with, number one, their strengths, their skills, and their passions, or number two, just applying for any job. So like now, you've done a degree in procurement. Yes. Why are you applying for a marketing role? Put yourself in the recruiter's shoe. You've been told to hire marketing professionals. Are you going to hire someone with a procurement degree? Absolutely not. So that we apply for jobs that are in line with their strengths, their skills, and their passions. And I do understand that sometimes, because the jobs are not readily available, you might find yourself applying for any job that comes along. Yeah. But you see, you want to up your game in looking for places where you can find available jobs that are in line with your strengths, your skills, and your passions. So that there's a discrepancy between the CV and the JD is another mistake that most people would make. Okay. The other mistake is interviews.
Yes, please.
So you have, you've done everything on your CV, you have an amazing CV, then you've been called for this interview. Then you come for the interview and number one, you're not prepared for the interview. So like, for example, you've come for an interview at Switch TV.
Yes.
You asked something so simple about Switch TV and you don't know. You probably don't even know that it's in Kenya. You probably think it's a show in Nigeria. You see how from the get-go
You lost it
completely.
Yes.
Or they ask you, so Mikali, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a third born. I am born again.
Yes. Jesus is Lord.
Jesus is Lord. Like nothing to do with what my skills are and what I'm bringing to the table.
Exactly. So within the first 3 seconds, it's a wrap. Like the interview, like, is done.
Yes.
Also, we like you get asked something like, so I see there's a 2-year gap on your CV.
Yes.
Mind explaining? I don't feel like talking about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yes.
Don't give that answer.
Yes.
Nah.
So you see, and you see, it's probably that they just don't know how to navigate those questions.
How do you answer that though? Say, for example, you were a mom, you took a break and you had to be home.
Right. And this is something that comes up a lot. You see, at the time when you are home, like raising kids, there's so much that people normally do, even if they are not working. There are certain skills you've also garnered just by, raising your kids and, like being home. There are things that you've done, there are skills that you've, acquired. So number one, you need to be very confident in answering that question.
Yes.
That you're not, flaky and saying that, yes, I took a 2-year gap. My family and I made a decision that I stay home for one reason or the other. It could be that, you decided to raise kids, or you could have taken a sabbatical, whatever the reason is, that you want to tell the employer what you are able to learn and how you are able to grow during this time. Whether you are raising your kids or a family, or you decided to farm, whatever it is, what did you gain? And the other thing that the employer would want to to see is, are your previous skills still fresh? So like, for example, if I was checking for an example, so maybe you took a 2-year gap and to raise your family, and then you come back 2 years later and you want to be on TV. So I would want to know, is it something that you're still passionate about? Are those skills still fresh, and are you able to clearly articulate the same?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. I like the way we've taken the whole roadmap to getting the job.
Yes.
So let's just assume you aced it at the interview as well.
Yes.
And you got the job.
Yes.
And now it's been what? Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years in, and you feel,
Yeah.
now I feel like I need to move. Now I'm tired. I don't feel like I'm great. Whatever the reason.
Yeah.
What are some of the things we should consider to know for sure that it is the job that I want to leave? Or it's just I need to work on myself to appreciate my environment even more? And what are the steps to take before I finally say I am done?
All right. So there are certain things that cause people to reach that point when they are saying, I've had it. And I know there are people who are going to quit, and either way, whether they have something lined up or not. They so many people have woken up one day and said, Sirudi, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. And most times it's something that has been building. It's not something like someone just didn't wake up one day and decided, they want to quit. Something has been building up. And one of the things that you want to consider is the triggers. That then, if you feel, like number one, you're feeling your work environment is toxic, or you're not getting along with your boss, or you're getting very many, like warning letters, and you're being summoned to be, asked about your performance, or, you're dropping the ball here and there. If you're seeing these red flags and these things, you really want to have a meeting with yourself just to find out, what is going on.
Especially if you're experiencing burnouts, hautaki tena. This space
Exactly.
is a bit, and I don't know
toxic.
if you are experiencing that, or if you've ever experienced that at your workspace where you feel like, mimi nimechoka, I don't understand. Pengine unaonewa, that is what you feel. But have you had a meeting with yourself? We're continuing with this conversation, sending your questions, comments, concerns as well. 111 444 111. We'll be right back with Joanne, the career coach, after this break. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mukali. It's a Monday morning. I hope you're having a great time on HR Circle today. We're talking about stuff to think about, consider before you step out. We've talked about other things, but before you step out of that job, that's where we left it at. And we were just talking about burnout. You're being summoned, you're dropping the balls, you're dropping the ball left, right, center.
Yeah.
And una feel umechoka.
Yes, so you know, we were saying that, you know, you need to think about the triggers, because whether you are going to the office or you are working from home, you still can experience burnout. And as you were saying, you know, like you could be working from home, and because you don't know when to start and when to end, you know, when you spend time with your kid, you feel like you need to overcompensate. There are people who are working crazy hours and they are burning out.
That is true.
The thing about burnout is that it creeps up on you. So you just wake up one day and you realize, like, I just don't feel like going to work. You know, there are people who end up becoming alcoholics, because then, you know, like, you need to be high to operate, because you are just like, you're tired, but then you cannot quit because you have to pay bills. Yes. There are people who experience this burnout because too much responsibilities is put on them, and maybe it's an organization that you love, or you are just like a fresh graduate, you've just been given this job and you're really wanting to prove yourself. Yes. So whatever it is they put on you, like, you know, you want to do so that you prove yourself. And so that you need to identify these triggers way before, so that then it does not reach a point when, number one, you just wake up one morning and decide you want to quit, or you get hospitalized. I have seen cases upon cases upon cases where people, you know, like, you are admitted and, you know, because, like, you just fainted. And they're doing all these tests, you know, tests on you, and they cannot see anything. No. Yeah, you know, MRI and everything, and there's nothing, and it's just because you're tired. You've been overworking, and it's you know, you've been overworking for a long period of time, and even you did not, you know, realize it. That, you know, that you. So what I think what we are saying is, you need to identify those triggers way before, you know, like way beforehand, so that then you are not being hospitalized, or you don't wake up one morning and then your boss says something, alafu namrushia stapler, because of the anger and the
it's always
fatigue.
Weird when you wake up one day and then usikie, John alisema kuji leo, ama John aliacha barua last night, ama ametuma na email do asubuhi. They've quit, and you're wondering, where did it come from? So you contained it, you did not notice the triggers. So when I notice the triggers, what am I supposed to do about that?
So a number of things. The first thing is, and most importantly, have a meeting with yourself to, you know, to not say that, okay, I love my job, it's a good industry, I'm being paid this much, but is this where I need to be? And you know, is it that I don't love the environment, or is it my boss that I don't love? And are there certain things that I can do? You know, can we organize a meeting? Can I talk to HR? You know, can I try and salvage the situation? If maybe it's not, you know, like you and your boss maybe are probably reached a point where it's not, you guys cannot, you know, like resolve, or the environment is toxic. Maybe it's not in line with your values. Maybe they are dealing with things that are illegal. You know, maybe it's just not a good match for you. Maybe, you know, your personality in that organization, there's just a clash, and you want to move. It might be a good time to also talk to a counselor, because then sometimes when you talk to, you know, a therapist, you know, and this is at someone who is trained, please don't go no, like behind.
There's actually a board that's vets, and they need some certain certifications.
So get a good, you know, therapist. So, you know, and like talk about this, you know, things, because sometimes then you could be experiencing something that can, you know, is going on inside of you. So maybe there's something, a personal thing, or it could be a personality thing, or just something internal that is causing the external conflicts. So and if that's the case, then maybe, you know, talking your problems through it can, you know, solve the situation. And even if you're leaving, then you are doing it very calm. You know, the other thing is, you could talk to your mentor, you know, talk to someone else about it way before you decide, you know, like you want to quit. And you know, with your mentor, you can be able to do a pros and cons. I love my job because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't like my job because because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be that you've reached your ceiling.
Yes.
There's no other place for growth. It could be that the only reason why you're holding on to this job is because of the money, and you have, you know, a family to feed, and that is okay. But is it possible then, you know, if it's a toxic place, is it possible for you to get another role with, you know, probably the same amount of money or even more in a place that in an environment that fosters your growth, that you know, helps you to bloom. So there are this, you know, all these things that you can do when you realize that, you know, I'm burning out, you know, I'm feeling that this is not the place that I need to be. And for most people,
yes,
there just comes a day and you feel like there's just something wrong, and for some it's something that you almost cannot explain to, you know, to other people. I normally like using this example. Michelle Obama, she hated being a lawyer, and she hated her job, and, you know, like, she had to move and you know, like, you know, get another role. But you see, you know, it's Michelle Obama and it's other people in senior, you know, positions. It's CEOs and CTOs. So just because you are not a CEO or you're not a director, and you feel you want to quit, does not mean it's a situation that's unique to you. It happens to everyone. Yes.
Yeah. So it's okay to feel these things,
yes,
but it's okay to deal with them. The best thing is to deal with them before they become eruptive or before you're hospitalized, is for you to understand.
Yes.
So let's put a scenario where, or what we need to do when we're stepping out of an employment that is secure,
yes,
and you have no plans. How do you, or probably you want to leave, but you want an exit strategy,
yes,
so that usijipate umekwama, but you really are done with this space.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you need to put in place to help you transition?
All right, important question. So a number of things, but I know we talk about these things, but people will always just up and say, I have had it, I am done. I am done.
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm hopeful.
Nitakunywa maji na ugali ni sawa, it's okay, but I'm leaving. But so, exit strategy. The first thing that you want to do, if you're employed, please revamp your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letter. Just increase the chances that someone else is going to be on the lookout for you. Because a platform like LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is so powerful, and it is so underrated. There are so many people who've gotten hired off of LinkedIn, especially during the pandemic season, because you see someone is looking at your CV, even if you're applying for, even if you're not applying, someone is viewing your profile and deciding whether they want to, you know, reach out to you. You will never ever regret revamping and, you know, optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So you want to, you know, optimize your profile. You want to do a good CV. You want to do a good cover letter, so that then if someone is, you know, reaches out to you, you are significantly increasing the chances that you land another job. You want to network, you know, talk to Mikali and her friends and her cousins and, you know, people in church, and tell them, you know, I've been feeling that it's the place in my life where I need a change, and I'm on the lookout. If you hear of something, please let me know. Your network is your net worth. So, you know, tell anyone who knows anyone, you know, that you're on the lookout even before you quit. So, you know, doing those documents, very important. The other thing is, you might want to consider starting a side gig.
Okay.
So, you know, it could be like something you're passionate about. Maybe you're passionate about baking, or you're passionate about fashion, and you could buy, you know, clothes and sell, or you could you could organize events for people, or, you know, any side gig. You could even revamp, you know, CVs and LinkedIn profiles for people, or you could do makeup, whatever it is. But if you're able to think of, you know, if you're able to ask yourself, what are you passionate about, and is there a side gig around my passion, and is it something that can bring in some money? Because then it means if you leave this job and at least unapata ka 18k mahali, ka 20k mahali, you see, it's not as bad as just, you know, you're earning 150,000 and now nothing. Also, academic writing is, you know, like a good, you know, a good thing. You could buy groceries and deliver, you know, to people. There are so many like side gig opportunities, and especially if you've been employed, it means you have a network.
Yes.
So it's not like you're starting from ground zero, you're starting from somewhere. So there's so much that you can do with your strengths, your skills, and your passions that can bring in some, some money. So a side gig are very important to think about as an exit strategy. The other thing would be that even before you quit, that you have an emergency fund. Actually, you need to have an emergency fund whether or not you're planning to quit.
To leave or not.
Yes, if there's something that COVID taught us.
Yes. Hey. We were all caught off guard.
Yes.
And it was just one of those things. It hit everybody. It hit companies.
Yes.
Not just individuals.
Yes. So, nothing in this world is guaranteed. Not your job, nothing is guaranteed. So you could actually wake up one day and that the job where you think is your, be all and, go all, it just ends. So what are you going to do? So having an emergency fund, very important. More so now if you're planning to quit, because then if you have an emergency fund for for the next 6 months sorted whether or not this job is there, then you have your mind is you allow your mind to think of bigger and better possibilities, because you see you cannot think straight if you're thinking about what am I going to eat, what will my children eat, what am I going to pay school fees with. You have scatterbrain. But if you're settled and this and that is sorted, so what do I need to do in the next 6 months to get back, then you are more likely to make better decisions. But then if you just quit and you don't have any money, you see now you'll take anything. The Bible says that like someone who is full, honey might taste bitter, because you see like you'll not take just anything that comes. But if you're hungry, even if something is poisonous, you might actually take it because you are hungry and you can take anything. Yes.
You see, there's when you're leaving the employment, there's the recommendation letter.
Yes.
How important is that? Especially for those people who get really tired and they up and leave ends, but they went that deal in the future, and then you go looking for a job and
they
then
tell you, go back. Yeah.
So how important is that letter?
It is. And actually for me, it's just not the letter. It's that you have someone in that organization that can speak to your abilities. Because more often than not, when you get hired and you're given an offer, your employer would want to talk to, like 3 people. And there was this funny meme going around the other day that now, even for, employees, if you go to an organization, you want to tell the employer, can I talk to also 3 happy... Can I talk to 3 happy employees also?
What is the culture here?
Yes, what is the environment? Are you guys going to be toxic after like 3 months? Yes, so the reference, if someone can speak to your abilities, it's so important. And that's why it is so important not to burn bridges. It doesn't matter what has happened, just toka na amani. Like make sure you've left very well, and you can call back and say, I remember when I left my when I left corporate to start my business, it's one of the things that I really had in mind. And I would say the connections that I had when I was in corporate really went a long way in helping me build my business, because then you could call someone and you see they're still working and they're still in that organization, and those people can give you a lot of credibility. So you do not want to burn bridges.
Do not burn. Hata kama unasikia unataka kutoroka aje. We have a question here for you.
All right.
How do I go about working when the bosses tell me that the vacancy I held is null and void, but I can work as a casual laborer and no explanation, and I've not received misconduct warning? Should I quit now?
So first of all, what I would want to say is, before agreeing to work for someone, please, let's make sure it's written.
Contracts.
Yes. Tuachane na maneno ya mdomo that mimi na Mikali we agreed that I will do XYZ and then she's going to give me. Let's stop it. So whatever work you're doing, even if it's delivering something, make sure it's written down, because then it's something that you can always go back to and refer to. And should it get to you taking legal action, then there's a document. People have gotten themselves mixed up when you don't have a document. So for this person particularly, and it's unfortunate because then some employers are going to take advantage of you, because then you don't have a contract and hakuna kazi Kenya. So whatever it is they give you, they'll want to take. So I would I don't know if the person is being paid
Yes, so I think they are. I
They
don't know. They
are.
do not. They do not say if they are or not.
I-
But then now they sort of have gotten a demotion of some sort.
Yeah.
And they're saying they've not been given an explanation as to why they've been demoted.
Yeah.
And they've not received a misconduct warning or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like they're pushing you out without saying talker.
Yeah, or they are probably also like like we right now
don't
we can
know.
only
Yeah,
speculate.
yes.
So maybe the best course of action would be, to try and find like other opportunities. But then if this like whatever gig it is, if it's making the money, then you see you don't want to just leave and then
Yes.
start from scratch. You could actually look for other places as you're as you're still there.
Okay. Okay. Kennedy from Bungoma County, Kamukuywa. Say, I need an answer for this question. Assuming you're being interviewed, then ulizwe swali kuhusu kiwango cha mshahara unataka kulipwa. How can I answer such a question?
All right. So I actually just recently did with with Angie Obaka.
Yes.
We did a very long video, and it's very detailed about salary negotiation. So I would actually urge this person to go and watch. But in a nutshell, number one, before you go for any interview, know the market trend. Know, if it's a job for a procurement officer or procurement manager or a data analyst, what's the range?
Okay.
So go in knowing, this is the
If you're getting in,
range.
whatever it is, whatever your
Yes.
skill, whatever your JD,
Yeah.
find out kwa soko.
kwa soko ni gani,
Wanalipisha
aje. Yeah. Please don't go for an interview and then when they ask you, so what is your salary expectation? Mimi nitachukua anything, kitu tu yoyote nipatie nitachukua. Or some people, you ask them, so what is your salary expectation? I'm not comfortable saying, as like...
You're not comfortable doing
saying,
what?
Yeah.
And they're
or,
supposed to be paying you.
Yeah, or you quote something so low, and for some people, it's like you feel if you do that, then you're coming across as humble, and it's not.
No.
Yes, please do your research, go in knowing below this number, I cannot, like I cannot take the offer. And so maybe your expectation is 40. So you can say what my salary expectation is 50, negotiable. Because then again, you can't go and say my salary expectation is 40. Mswanipatia 40 sichukui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then again, it does, like you don't come across in a very good light. So leave room for negotiation, but then
Yes.
also have a number below which you can't, go.
Yes.
And the only way to know and come up with this number is by doing your research and even talking with people in that organization or in a similar industry. And then also when you're going for the interview, that you know what your worth and your value is, know what you're bringing to the table, and you're basing this on your education.
Yes.
Because you spent money and time in school learning, and you have invested in yourself and you have a lot of work experience. So what is your value? And even if you're a fresh graduate, because I know also fresh graduates normally struggle because they're like, I don't have any experience, so
I don't even know.
But that there are fresh graduates earning close to like 80 to 100,000 in some organizations, depending on which industry it is. So you might think that I'm a fresh graduate, I shouldn't be paid, and there are people earning 80.
Yes.
So you will go and say you expected is 20, and watakupatia 20 because si ulisema unataka 20. Yeah.
So jielewe.
Kabisa.
Now do your research as well.
Yeah.
Final question before I let you go.
All right.
Good morning, Mikali. There's this question I was asked in an interview. I didn't know how to answer it. So the question is, you were going well from your CV in line with human resource. How comes you shifted from human resources and I can see what you have studied is sales and marketing jobs. What you studied, you did sales and marketing jobs, but you shifted, shifting from one career to another.
All right. So I think they did a degree in maybe sales, and now they probably have some experience in HR, and that is why they've been called for this HR interview. That's what I'm suspecting.
Yes.
So that you are able to answer the question. There are so many people who've done one degree, you've done biomed, and then shift completely, and now you are doing makeup, or you are something totally different from what you studied. And it's okay. It's just that you need to be able to clearly articulate why the move. So maybe you studied the degree and you found out that you're really passionate about people, and you're passionate about people because of XYZ. Maybe you studied, sales as an undergrad, but then you found out that you're really passionate about helping people with their careers, and so you decided to switch. Maybe you did sales, and somewhere along the way you just realized that you have an introverted personality, and for you to be successful in sales, you need to be very outgoing, and that's why you decided to switch. So that you have a reason why, and you're able to clearly articulate the same.
Okay, great. Our time is up. Our time is up. You'll definitely come back, right?
Yes, definitely.
Promise?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming through. It was such an
Thank
amazing
you.
conversation. And we are looking for jobs every single day. That means we need your help now even more than ever.
Yes.
How can people get in touch with you for inquiries and all of that?
All right. So you can reach me. So my name is Joanne the Career Coach on IG, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on TikTok. Yes. It's just, if you search for Joanne the Career Coach, you can get me. But the best way is just send an email to joanne.thuo@gmail.com.
Okay.
I'm not sure which camera I was supposed to look
This
at.
one.
But, all right.
Umesema tuko na kamera mingi huku ndani, Joanne.
Kuna mingi, like which one? Where?
This one. Do you want to do that again?
Yes. So you can reach me at Joanne the Career Coach on IG, LinkedIn, Twitter. But the best way to reach me is just email joanne.thuo@gmail.com.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Mikali.
We are going to take a very short commercial break. We will be right back. This is Full Circle with Mikali.